Hello, welcome to the BiG Scuba Show.
Hi, I'm Saltanat on the BiG Scuba Podcast with Gemma and Ian. With a regulator in my mouth and a tank on my back, I know no fear.
Today's episode is sponsored by Narked at 90, so let's find out a bit more about them. Narked at 90, their tagline has been beyond technical, which describes them pretty well. John Routley and Brent Hudson launched the company over 20 years ago. They are both technical divers who have logged thousands of mixed gas dives between them over a 30-year period. Using their engineering know-how and diving expertise, have developed bespoke, personal, commercial and military diving equipment and products of a universally recognised, unparalleled calibre.
Their ability to be adaptive and versatile with their developments led them to support the NHS during COVID. Using their superior knowledge of breathing and oxygen monitoring systems to help develop emergency ventilators. They also design and supply the sneaky stuff used by defence-based development groups throughout the Western world, although they can't tell us much about that. If you're thinking of moving across to tech diving or completely new to diving, Narked at 90 can advise and guide on the best equipment and setup for your personal or commercial requirements. Narked at 90 have unparalleled experience of shearwater dive computers and are the longest serving and sole and UK European service centre for those. They are happy to offer technical support, servicing, repairs and upgrades to all shearwater computers, past and present. Narked at 90 stock shearwater computers but are also stockists and technical support centre for many other manufacturers including Divesoft, JJCCR, Hollis, Revo and Kiss Rebreathers.
Based centrally in the UK, Narked at 90 also offer full rebreather head servicing for selected manufacturers.
Bespoke cable assemblies.
Advice on specific fitting requirements.
Suggestions and guidance for home builds.
Computer laser cutting and engraving.
Pressure testing to simulate 400-metre dives.
So, Narked at 90, a reputation built on supporting both manufacturers and divers worldwide.
Go to narkedat90.com and make sure you are following their social media to keep up to date with their latest news and offers.
Narked at 90, large enough to cope, small enough to care.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the BiG Scuba Podcast. This is episode 151. Welcome. My name is Ian. I'll be your dive master for this episode, and with me is...
Hello, I'm Gemma, the other co-host, and welcome to the BiG Scuba Podcast.
Yeah. So if this is your first time with us, welcome. Very briefly, we talk to people from the diving world and who have spent time underwater exploring, doing weird and wonderful things, and we get to hear about what they've been up to. And people like, Christina Sonato, we spoke to Jill Hyneth.
Yes, astronauts from NASA.
Yeah.
So, yeah, anybody connected to the watery world, we're happy to talk to you.
Yeah, or, we often talk about paddleboarding sometimes as well, don't we?
Yes, yeah.
So, and free diving, and we get our friends on from Lundy Diving as well, don't we?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, and we
chat to them.
Yeah, and we talk to people that are just passionate about their diving, and hence our guest today.
Yes, very well put in, Gemma. So we've got a guest for you who is
Saltanat Khan, and she is our first guest from India.
Yeah, so we'll be talking to her very shortly. So what have we been up to?
Well, we haven't actually been in the water. I've had family stuff, so I've had to stay local to be with
fair.
parents.
Life happens.
It does, yeah. So, but we have got a date to go diving at Stony Cove.
In fact, we've got a busy few weeks coming up.
We have.
Actually.
Yeah, so...
we did look at, funny enough, jumping in the river, actually, didn't we, yesterday?
Yeah.
But we've had a lot of rain around here, and all the rivers are all really, they're all flooded.
Yeah.
Funny enough, I did a YouTube, and that's up as well, actually.
Hence the link.
Of the before and after of the floods. So that's out. Have a look at that on the YouTube, and a little bit of some cows.
Yes, yeah,
that
and
we saw.
the previous week we were out on. Well, I was on the paddle board, the Sea Lion board,
Yeah.
giving that a little
Just
test.
for the last few weeks, we've had to keep local.
Yeah,
While your dad is on the mend.
On the road to recovery, hopefully now. Yeah,
And which is really good. So we should be at Stony Cove. We've booked tickets for
27th of May.
27th of May. I'm up there the following weekend, all being well, because Honey Last will be doing her open water.
Yeah, so yeah.
Can't believe how that's come round.
Yeah, it was winter time, wasn't it, when she started, and now, it's only a few weeks away. So, but she'll be fine. So it'll be a
Thanks to O3, we bought some nice hood and gloves for her from O3, and bought some thermals from Fourth Element.
Yes, yeah. So she's all kitted out. Just got to get in a dry suit.
Shout out to Tom and shout out to Alex.
Yes, thank you very much. So that was very good. And yeah, we mentioned paddleboarding, didn't we? So Sea Lion paddle boards. We've got 2 boards that we've been supported with. So if you fancy getting on the water, go to the website and use our code BiG Scuba, and literally you can buy a ready-to-go package. So you'll have your board, your pump, everything you need.
Even in a backpack that you can carry, and you've got all your gear, everything you need to go to site with.
Yeah, the only things that I'd advise that you get extra are a buoyancy aid and a phone case.
Yeah, you need some means of communication if you're out in water. And also, if you are going out to sea,
check the tides.
You do need to check your tides, and you check the weather,
the wind,
and also make sure that you know what your plan is. Have some kind of plan. And what to do in emergency.
Tell somebody where you're going and what time you're expected back. Yeah. So safety on the water is paramount. So we're having lots of fun on our Sea Lion boards.
Yeah. We need to give a shout out to our friends at Ilkeston.
Yeah, Ilkeston and Kimberley Dive Club. We've known them right from the very beginning of the podcast. Particular shout out to Lydia. They are doing a 24-hour dive on the 9th of September. So they're diving a loch, a lake, and a linn, which is
what's a linn?
I think it's a lake, a Welsh lake. Okay. So like you've got lochs, Scottish.
Why do they all begin with L?
I don't know.
Loch, a linn, and a lake.
Lake, yeah. So that's quite a feat in 24 hours, because obviously they've got to travel.
We dived the loch that they're proposing to dive, aren't they?
Loch Long,
and that was awesome, wasn't it? Have you ever dived a loch? We got the idea from a previous guest,
Ross McLaren,
who gives the heads up about this loch. Awesome, I have to say, one of the best dives I've ever done in the UK.
Yeah, it was amazing. So obviously it's a sea loch.
Free. It's free. You don't have to pay anyone. It's there. It's free.
Yeah, and we saw scallops, live scallops. Yeah, it was a stunning dive.
Which are the weirdest things to watch swim in the world.
Yeah. So we got to dive it. I got to paddleboard, and it was just a super day. Yeah. Yeah, so look them up. It will be on their website, Ilkeston and Kimberley Sub-Aqua Club. So that's on the 9th of September, and they're doing it for charity. They've got a GoFund page, and it's for the BDMLR, the marine guys.
And we're hoping, especially if you listen to this, guys from Ilkeston, we're hoping that we could get you on soon.
Yes.
And then have a chat about it, or perhaps a bit nearer the time might be best to have a chat about it.
Yeah, or even after the event. But yeah, obviously have a look at their website, and we'll be posting some social media about it. We've got a flyer to put out there.
Yeah. But yeah, we had a little bit of a hiatus about because last time we dived was March, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah.
So it's all with good cause, and we should be in the water very soon.
Yes,
Looking forward to it, actually. Getting their full face masks on.
Yeah, you've been in the pool and I've been in the pool, haven't we? We've done a few skills and things. Yeah, so but actually in open water, so it'd be nice.
I'm in the pool every Thursday with the Honeymeister at the minute while she's doing her open water stuff. So she's got a dry suit next, I believe.
Must be in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, she's done all her chapters in the padded manual. I think she's got one left of that to do, and then it's back in the water, and then she's got dry suit practice, and then I'll be up at Stony.
Yeah, and then I think the Monday after Honey does her open water, I've got a pool session for my rescue course, and then the weekend after I'm on my rescue course.
Oh, good. That'll be good to get
that done, ticked off.
Yeah, brilliant course. I really enjoyed doing the rescue course.
Yeah, so that'll be 3 courses done this year.
Yeah. Excellent. Brilliant. All right, well, I think that's kind of it. Let us know where you're diving. Shout out to our friend Matt,
Matt Rivet,
previous guest. He's been doing some diving as well, so shout out to him. And let us know where you've been diving, what you've been up to, what your diving plans are this year.
Yeah.
If you're planning on going to Lundy, the guys are coming on very shortly, aren't they?
Yes, yeah. At the time of this, we're recording this, we have just finished speaking to them.
So they'll be on very shortly, talking about Lundy Island. We dived at this time
a year ago. Yeah. So it certainly whizzed by, but yeah, definitely look the boys up at Lundy and
lundydiving.co.uk.
Yeah. So our guest is Saltanat Khan, and she is quite a new diver, but very passionate about
very
her
enthusiastic.
diving. Yeah, very philosophical about it.
Yeah,
spiritual. I think it's not sure I'm going to write.
Totally made a mistake of that.
Yeah, so it's nice to chat to her about everything, her journey, and yeah, she has some good answers to our set questions.
Have a listen to someone who's fresh to the sport of diving, and remind yourself why you love being underwater.
Yes, yeah, and if you are listening in India, make contact with us and let us know about your diving.
Yes, do that.
Yeah, because we haven't got that many downloads in India.
No.
So enjoy our conversation with Saltanat Khan.
Welcome to the BiG Scuba Podcast, all the way in southern India.
Our first.
Yeah, yep. You're
first
our
representative from India. How about that?
I'm grateful to be
Yeah. So, tell us about your scuba journey. What got you into diving?
Yeah, so I started out 2 years back when I was on a solo trip to one of the places, and I'm so happy that I actually did the solo trip, because if I didn't go for it, I would not be here. So kudos to the solo trip. So I started out 2 years back, and I'm currently pursuing my specialty courses and all of that. I've completed my open water, advanced open water. I go for a lot of fun dives as well. And diving for me, since that day, it has been a form of an empowerment for me. In that it instills a great deal of confidence and, that richness in me, right from strapping on the BCD to you wearing the fins, putting the regulator and everything. So it makes me feel really great about myself. So through scuba diving, I'm not only improving myself with every dive, but I'm also sharing this experience with a lot of other people, my non-divers and everybody, through my content. So I'm a scuba diving content creator as well. So I shoot underwater, I make videos, I make memes, like informative and those hilarious ones that would actually encourage people to take up scuba diving. Also, another thing I would like to quote, I find diving very philosophical and creative, we've already spoken about, but the philosophy of scuba diving is just so mesmerizing. So like recently I got licensed for underwater navigation, and I would like to give you an example over here. What do I mean by philosophy? So, when you're underwater, you have to trust your compass. Now, even if you think, you're not going in the right direction, you have to trust it and you have to just follow its lead. So if I were to relate this with life, I would say no matter where you go, no matter things, even if things go haywire, you have to stand your ground. You have to believe in yourself. That is your compass. So I love deriving philosophical learnings out of scuba diving, and I really enjoy that. So this is what I've been doing since the last year.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, that's an interesting analogy with the compass as well. Yeah, because you've got to, obviously trust it. Yeah. So what's diving like in India?
So diving in India is mainly, it's tropical, not the cold water diving. It's humid and warm waters only everywhere. And diving in India is based out of the eastern coast and the western coast. So you have a lot of dive centers over here, PADI centers especially, of course, and SSI centers as well. But PADI, I think, is majorly preferred by a lot of Indians. And a lot of Indians, they're overcoming this fear of water. In the recent past, I have seen the trend that people have said they don't know how to swim. Can they scuba dive? So what they're doing is they're actually learning swimming. They're learning to overcome this fear and get their certification. So they've also been quite inspiring. There's inspiring a lot of people around.
So is scuba diving quite popular in India?
Popular, I would say it's now catching up, like we also had 2 ambassador divers recently selected by PADI. So I think they're playing a huge role in, disseminating this thing about scuba diving in India. And it's not popular right now, but it's cropping up now. Now the popularity is increasing. So I'm adding to it, I'm doing my bit, ocean conservation, and actually encouraging people to take up scuba diving. So
that's really good, isn't it? So are you finding it easy to, find buddies to go dive with then?
Yes, we do have dive professionals or dive masters as dive buddies. So, they're allotted to us, and then that's how we go diving.
Yeah.
And what about the number of women diving in India? Is there an equal split, or is it more male dominated?
Yeah, it's male dominated right now, and the male to female ratio is still a little disturbed, but I think with what's happening right now, I think more and more women will be, able to overcome their fear or whatsoever and actually become scuba divers. So the ratio is a little disturbed, yes. That's
Yeah. So with what do you do for a career? Is diving part of your job, or do you have something completely different?
Diving is my recreation, and diving is also something that, again, it's very philosophical me, so it's a different part of my life. But I do have a full-time job, so I am, juggling between 2 lives, land and water. And it's busy throughout the year.
Yeah, no, that's really good. And you're quite a keen photographer. Did that come from diving, or did you do it prior to diving?
Prior to diving, of course, land photography, meaning, working with your iPhone or working with your digital camera and all of that. But when diving happened, I, had this objective in my mind that I have to correct my buoyancy and everything so that I can photograph the underwater world in the most hassle-free way. So I did that, and I love shooting underwater. So I've been using a lot of cameras underwater as well. I love shooting my dive buddies because you can get close to them and other marine creatures as well. And I love making those cinematic videos and everything, those Nat Geo shows, like for personal use. So I enjoy that as well.
You sound very creative.
We've just got a guitar in the background, look.
I used to play.
So you sing as well?
Oh, no, that's really, really good. So with marine life, what sort of creatures are they? Tiny, or do you get some real big marine animals off the coast of India?
So it's a blend of everything. Recently now on the eastern coast of India, they've spotted a whale shark. So whale shark. So this is the season, May to July or May to August. You see a lot of whale sharks on the eastern coast of India. Then you have stingrays, you have pufferfish, and those crazy marine creatures that you would want to see. So it's a blend of everything, batfish as well, and planktons, and the regular. That's
a good mix then.
Yeah. So with your diving, is it mostly boat diving, or do you do shore diving as well?
In some places there's boat diving. In some places like Havelock, the Andamans and Nicobar Islands, or Lakshadweep for that matter, there's shore diving, as in you enter from the shore. So, and then you get onto the boat, or maybe just directly shore entry. But it's mainly boats only.
Yeah. Is there any inland places to go diving, or is it all shore-based? Any inland?
I didn't get that.
Is there any inland waters that you can dive in?
Inland, it's just one or two places, they are mainland diving, and others are like proper islands. So a little outside of India. So there are two islands over here on the eastern and the western coast, and mainland is also, I mean, you'll feel like you're in the city, but it's surrounded with water. It's the Bay of Bengal, eastern coast. So mainland and islands, it's both.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah. So around the world, there are many divers. Do you look up to any divers, like they're your inspiration or your icons?
I would say, who's my inspiration? So I see a lot of scuba diving content on Instagram and social media. And I think those funny ones like Laura, the dive meme. There's Olivia as well. I don't recall her handle, but Olive or Olivia, I mean, they create beautiful content. I mean, it's informative, it's funny, and you just want to watch their content for hours. So I think they are my inspiration. They bring out that richness of scuba diving, So
no, that's good. So when did you last get in the water?
I think a month ago.
Oh gosh. Yeah, it's difficult with work and life, because you have to fit it in, don't you? So so how many log dives have you done over the course of the last couple of years?
Last 2 years, I think close to 30 dives. I'm planning to really, take it to 50 and then 100. But it's just juggling between two lives, so I'm going to find a way out there.
Yeah, no, it's an exciting journey, and you just have to do it at your own pace.
Do you see how far you want to go with your diving? Do you want to, like, at some stage sort of do more courses and perhaps go on to like become a dive master or something like that? Or
yeah, I mean, right now, it's just specialty courses for me right now, and they seem really good. I mean, you learn a lot of things, and of course, like I said, I'm on the philosophical facet of scuba diving, so I learn a lot of things, personally. And when I learn it, I share this experience with others as well. So experience, I mean, in my opinion, goes a long way. Rather than just manual and technical know-hows of diving, this is what you do, this is how it is. When you share an experience, that I think benefits a lot. So right now, I mean, it's just I'm in the moment right now. I haven't really thought about moving forward in scuba diving or actually making a career out of it. But experience is something I would always want to share. I mean, that's my goal for now.
Yeah. What about your family? What do they think about you diving?
So I learned how to swim when I was 7 years old.
Yeah.
So I moved from that confined, area to now the entire ocean. So I think they're proud of me. I'm also proud of myself. I did it. So yeah.
So what was the trigger for you learning to scuba dive? Did you have friends that dived, so you thought, I want to give it a go? Or
I would say I'm the first friend who actually went scuba diving. I had this thing in mind for a very long time. I used to swim, I still do. But I mean, doing my personal research and everything, I said, okay, this is what it is. Okay, so once you learn how to swim, you can do this also. It's all water-based. So I had this thing in my mind, back of my mind, and I kind of manifested it, and it happened 2-3 years back. So I got my certification and everything. And the moment, I took a back roll in the water. The first time I fell in the water. And I was astonished because it was also fear for me. I mean, swimming pool, I was in the swimming pool, I'm in the ocean, and it felt so familiar, yet different at the same time. So I loved it. I mean, that moment, from that to here, it's been quite a journey.
Yeah, and what would you say to anyone who's listening to this, who's thinking about diving? What would you say is the best way for someone out in India who's thinking about diving to take it up? Was there any advice?
I would tell them, we're living in a fabricated world, a world that's always, it's just advertisement stricken, buy this, buy that. I think it's that. So why don't you, join hands with something real like ocean conservation? It's so real. 74% of our planet is all water-based. So, you should join hands with this cause. I would tell him, or, even if you're fearful of water, don't worry. I've got your back. You can learn how to swim. You can get certified, and believe me, you're going to love it. And of course, you're joining hands with a real life thing like ocean conservation. So, you should feel good about it. In this fabricated world, in a world full of lies, you're doing something real, and that should keep you going. So if I were to educate somebody, I would tell them this.
Yeah. And is that the message about ocean conservation? How is that going? How is that sort of being spread in India, do you think?
There have been a lot of initiatives that are taken on a regular basis, and I've been part of beach cleanups to start with. Then there are things that instructors do. I have seen instructors at my dive center. They are picking up ghost nets, and there's a lot of clearing going on underwater. So the eastern part of India is actually a fishing zone. So, you find you don't have corals over there per se, but you have a lot of plastic and ghost nets because fishing zone, and you can't really do anything about it. But divers over there are really working hard towards, making it a fruitful pursuit, and actually oceans are thriving. So natural reef as well. So if they don't have anything natural, they're putting in a lot of hard work to, put palm leaves or, self-made corals and everything for the fish. So we are doing our bit. It's like that.
Yeah. And so so on one side of the coast, so you see more plastic waste than the other. Is it just because of the tides, or is there a particular reason for that?
I believe there's a lot of fishing activity that goes on in that area. So I think it can't really help that, but seen them, and I've been I'm just starting out, so I do beach cleanups. Yeah. So that's something I'm gradually progressing now.
Yeah, no, that's good. And beach cleans, they can happen anywhere. We've got various organisations in the UK, and it's great to hear. Yeah, beach cleans. You're looking after your own patch straight away. That's really good. Yeah. So, have you got any aspirations to dive elsewhere in the world?
So I have this thing that first I would dive in my own country. What is to dive in India? So eastern coast, western coast. I would do that first, and then I think I would move on to other countries, or maybe Maldives, or any place that's near to India first. Yeah. So I will gradually progress. This is what diving is in my country. Now I'm going here.
Yeah, diving's in the UK. We're in dry suits most of the time, so it's a little bit different. So it must be amazing to dive in warm water.
Visibility like, is that usually okay?
I'm sorry, I didn't get
the visibility. What's that like? Is it usually pretty good?
Visibility, you know how it goes. It depends, Some dives are great. I'm gracing my gear with the most spectacular footage. I can see the surface, I can see the board. Sometimes, also this thing, all my training dives, I have had such bad visibility. I don't know whether it's a coincidence or it's a thing, but visibilities, they keep differing. Sometimes really bad, and you're just there, hanging in there.
It's the same here in the UK, but we're mostly, predominantly inland diving, in lakes and quarries. So it's not always the best visibility, but it's nice to get out in the sea. That's really good. So for anybody thinking about diving, what would you say to them? Or somebody that's a bit nervous about, maybe going underwater?
Yeah, so I think they need a little bit of a motivational push. That psychological push has to be there, because there are people who actually fear water. Not everybody is as confident as us, just strapping on the BCD and jumping into the water. But I think they would need a little bit of counseling prior to their time. So, if I were to talk to somebody, I would just sit and make them understand. I would, again, like I said, I would share my experience. I would, motivate them through my own experience, because my diving journey has actually been a journey. I completed my scuba diver course first.
Yeah.
Then I moved on to my open water. So, step by step. So I've learned a lot of things in between. Also, if I were to also, impart some experience, I would say, see, there are a lot of things that can go right and that can go wrong, even with professionals, even with dive professionals. So on one of the dives, I think this was my advanced open water, I started crying in the water. I had a panic attack. Now I know what a panic attack feels like in the water. So if I were to motivate this person, I would tell him or her, listen, that's fine. We've all been there. I have been there. I started shedding tears in the middle of the ocean and somebody was towing me till the boat. So these things are normal. You have to overcome everything. I overcame it, and I'm sure you will do the same. So yeah, they need a little bit of psychological push, the little motivation, ray of hope, and they would be good to go.
Yeah,
Great.
that's good. So is there anything that takes you out of your comfort zone in terms of diving?
I think ocean currents, surface currents, for sure.
Yeah.
So, you're in the water and now there's an ocean current, and you can either decide to be in the water, continue the diving, or else you can, have that fear and then go back onto the boat, abort the dive. But as divers, I mean, we know we have to fight the current. I mean, we know we can, push our limits. So I think that is something. Ocean currents, they definitely throw me out of my comfort zone. I have to fight it out. I have to sharpen my willpower. Such an important thing with ocean currents and with scuba diving. I think there's a lot of, this thing that I have, sharpening of the willpower. You're learning with every challenge, overcoming every challenge, and then you fight the current, you fin through it, you reach your anchor line, descent line, you descend, and now you're in your happy zone. So ocean currents for sure, definitely throwing me out of my comfort zone.
Yeah, I think that's the first time we've had somebody say ocean currents.
Yeah.
Because you do see these amazing things like on Instagram with people like flying through the water in a current, and it's for a relatively new diver, it's probably something quite scary.
Yeah, it'd be tough. What about 3 people? If you could take 3 people diving, who would you take?
3 people, one of them can be a dive professional for safety measures. Okay, that's a big. Okay, so my first person would be the boat captain, the one who actually takes us to the dive site and is actually waiting for us patiently to finish all our dives and get back to the harbor. So I would love to take him underwater with me so that I get an opportunity to appreciate him for the efforts that he puts in, and just as gesture reward him, like, this is your reward, thanks for being there for us. So the boat captain or anybody from the boat crew, that would be my first person. My second person would be Paulo Coelho, the novelist, because since I relate a lot of philosophies with scuba diving and the underwater world, I would want Paulo Coelho, my ideal dive companion, to accompany me underwater, see everything, observe everything, write a novel about it or write a book about it. And, you never know, this might also encourage a lot of people to take up scuba diving because his books have been life-changing. So I would want him to be there. My third person would be, I don't have a name for this person, but it would be a blind person, a visually impaired person. So I have a thing for impaired people as well. So I want them to go underwater with me, and I want them to listen to their own breath as they blow bubbles and create that image in their mind, So I want them to feel as grateful because they are also alive with, the regular people. And when underwater, it's all about, appreciating your life, appreciating your breath. So I want this blind person to not feel sad about what he does not have. So I think I want him to listen to his own breath, create that image, and feel grateful towards life.
That's really lovely.
Deep,
because you're like considering other people and making them experience the underwater world. No, that's lovely answers to that one. So another question we ask our guests is, if you had a billboard that you could put something on that the whole world could see, what would you put on it? It could be a picture, a saying, a statement, but just something, a message that you want the world to hear.
I would love to show a picture, an underwater photograph, like the over-under one. It's split shot, where you're seeing two worlds together at the same time, land on the top, and then the underwater world as well, which you shoot through the dome port. I mean, those are my favorite types of photographs, underwater pictures. So I want to show the world through this picture on the billboard that, see, this is how two worlds can coexist at the same time. And if you scuba dive, you could also get a beautiful picture like this. So you should, take up diving. I mean, that's the idea.
Yeah, no, that's excellent.
Nice.
Anything to get more people in the water. Yeah, and it all helps with conservation as well, because you appreciate the underwater world more and taking care of it.
Yeah, good answers.
Yeah, really good. So if people want to follow you or know more about you, where is the best place for them to go?
I think Instagram is my primary platform. So yeah, there they would follow me on Saltanat Khan _. That's my handle. Okay. That's the only platform that I use.
Yeah, well, we'll put the links to that in the show notes so people can go there and have a look and follow you. But yes, so for the future, what's your sort of pursuit? Are you going to do more on Instagram and just work through more speciality courses?
Yes. So right now, I mean, I've completed just one specialty. So the next time I go diving, I think I'm going the next month. So I'll be doing something else and deriving more philosophies out of it and learning a lot more about scuba diving and myself.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, it'll be really interesting following your journey and seeing how things shape up over the coming months.
Yeah. Keep pushing ahead.
Yeah, no, it's been really lovely talking to you, and I think you've got so much enthusiasm, but it's on a deeper level as well, which is really interesting.
And it's about other people.
Yeah. So the more people we can get diving, the better.
Yeah. Well, it's been brilliant.
That's great. So thank you for your time, and we look forward to sharing the podcast with everybody else around the world.
For having me here. I mean, I've also listened to the podcast, and the people who have been hosted, they're such professionals. They're so good in whatever they were actually sharing with you guys, and I felt so grateful. I mean, I'm just somebody who started out 2 years ago, and I'm going to be here with a lot of veterans.
Good.
So I'm so grateful.
No, that's really lovely of you, and thank you.
So much, Gemma. So much.
No, you're very welcome,
you.
And we'll share this with everybody else, and I'm sure they'll be inspired. So great. All right.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
Thanks for representing India too. Well done. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, enjoy the rest of your day, and
Speak to you again. Thank you very much. Alrighty. Well, first off, thanks very much for coming on. That was really
great.
Lovely, deep.
Very deep.
Yeah. Especially with a blind person. It's one of the 3 people. Not had that before, have we?
No, and her outlook was kind of looking at making
how it would be for other people.
Yeah, making
it's nice, isn't it?
Putting more value into other people's worlds, which is
really... talk about conservation, talking about her journey, the old J word. It's really, that was really nice. So I'll say thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
I didn't catch what she did for a day.
I don't think she actually said.
Oh, okay.
No.
I'm not sure what she did for a day.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah, scuba diving is much more on a deeper level for her, whereas everybody's got their own reasons for diving, but you can see that she kind of is very inspired by it.
Yeah, and it's something about the ocean where people do feel that, don't they? Well, some people do, and some people don't. But I think it's nice when you do hear that naturally, that somebody feels that in tune with the water
and comfortable under the water. So like she said, she jumps.
It's funny how we feel that with the ocean, but we don't really feel that so much with inland lakes.
When you see lots of fish, like that time when we saw loads of fish at Stony, that was like amazing, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, things like that with nature. Yeah, I get that. But it's a weird thing with the sea. It's almost like a spiritual type thing with the ocean, because there's with the wildlife and there is so much energy you can draw from sea, isn't there?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Energy.
Yeah.
That you can't control, basically. It's
no.
Mother Nature underwater.
It is, yeah.
So hopefully, people will enjoy that episode.
I hope so. Yeah, I think that'd be a good one.
Yeah. So we'll pop in the show notes where you can follow Saltanat.
Yeah.
And we'll watch her journey with interest as she
representing India, because let's face it, I'm sure it's got some of the difficulties in some places because that can come in sport.
Yes,
probably numbers are not huge, aren't they?
But then there's a lot of coastline around
There is a lot of coastline. Yeah,
it's a big country.
Huge country.
Yeah. So
love to go there one year, actually.
It's full of lots of colours and smells.
Claimed another country for the BiG Scuba Podcast. We are conquering the world.
Dive in India.
Lovely listener. Once again, thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for downloading this episode. Before you go, please do remember to leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. It helps you guys, buddy, find us.
Exactly. Tell your friends.
Yeah, spread the word, spread the message. Yeah. Don't cost anything, it's free.
No, don't forget we've got a YouTube channel where you can watch some of our adventures. So there's some videos and there's some shorts on there. So again, give us a like.
Loads of stuff on our website about offers and things like that. So if you think about buying a paddleboard and happy bottles, but if you think about buying a paddleboard at the minute, because there's beautiful sunshine out there and it's time to get out on the water if you can't get under it, go to sealine.com, buy your paddleboard, and before you check out, use the BiG Scuba.
Exactly.
Okay.
Had a lot of fun on the paddleboards recently. Yeah. So thanks for downloading, and we'll see you on the next one.
So anyway, it's time for a cup of tea. Right, thank you very much. See you next time. Now that does wrap up today's episode of the BiG Scuba Podcast. But if you want to hear more from the podcast, make sure you hit that subscribe or follow button depending on what platform you are listening on. That way you will never miss an episode from us. But if you are listening on Apple Podcasts and did enjoy what you heard today, we would really appreciate it if you head to the show page to leave a 5-star rating and review. It really does help us. If you do, please take a screenshot of that review and send it to us on Instagram, and we'll give you a shout out to say a big thank you. If you have any questions for us or anything that has been mentioned in today's episode, be sure to reach out to us on any of our social media platforms or send us an email. The links are in the show notes. We will get back to you no matter what. If you have made it to this point in the episode, we both want to say a big thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next episode.